So, lonely listener, another night home by yourself? Well, fear not, for I have another Chills from the Hills. This one's called The Babysitter. On an evening much like any other, a young girl approached the door of a residence where she would spend the rest of the night babysitting. A hurried couple raced out the door, giving her rushed instructions as they ran. The children are already asleep upstairs, they yelled back as they drove away. The young babysitter proceeded inside the house, flicking on the television and setting up her notebook to attempt to complete some homework. As night fell, the girl grew distracted from her homework, expectantly staring at the phone. Her boyfriend said he'd call. After a while, the phone rang and she rushed to answer it. "Hello," she said. Hearing only silence on the other end, the girl went to hang up the phone. But just before she did, a mysterious voice asked, "Have you checked on the children?" The line went dead. Confused, the girl hung up the receiver and attempted to return to her homework. The caller must have been the children's father checking in, she assured herself. About half an hour later, the girl was immersed in a program on TV when suddenly the phone rang again. "Hello," she said abruptly. "Have you checked on the children?" Same sinister voice asked, this time with a slight menacing laugh. "Who is this?" the girl asked, now growing nervous, but the dial tone was her only response. The babysitter decided to phone the restaurant where the parents of the children said they'd be, but after speaking with the maitre d', she discovered they'd already left for the evening. She considered calling the police, but doubtfully shrugged off the innocent and returned to watching TV. Just as she began to relax, the phone rang again. Feeling a chill up her spine, the babysitter reached for the phone, lifting the receiver to the ear with trepidation. "Hello?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "Why haven't you checked on the children?" the man said, with a crackle before hanging up. "Who is this?" she shouted, only hearing the now deafening tone of the dead line on the other end. The babysitter immediately dialed 911, telling the dispatcher that a mysterious man had been calling her all night with creepy messages. "Has he threatened you?" the dispatcher asked. "No, not quite," the babysitter replied. "Well, other than try to trace the call, there's not much we can do," the dispatcher said. "Next time he calls, try to keep him on the line and we'll trace the call." Half hoping he would not call back, half fearing what might happen if he did, the babysitter settled in near the phone. Minutes later, a ring pierced the air. "Hello," she blurted out, answering only the first ring. She was met with silence on the other end, until finally the caller whispered, "I told you to check the children." Not even a second after the caller hung up, the phone rang again. This time the dispatcher's voice called into the receiver. Miss, can you hear me? The call is coming from inside the house," he yelled. "Get out immediately! The call is coming from inside the house!" Terrified, the babysitter dropped the receiver and bolted out the front door, slamming suddenly into the arms of a policeman. She was safe, but upstairs the police discovered a maniac with a knife covered in the blood of the 3 children. Turns out he killed each child just before calling the babysitter with the ominous warning, "Have you checked on the children?" Well, have you? Perhaps your children are being murdered right now. I suggest you get up off your ass and find out. Until next time, this has been another Chill from the Hill.